So what I'm going to do is play the arpeggios that are associated with the chords. An arpeggio is just a chord that's played in a linear fashion as opposed to all notes at one time. A lot of what bass players do is use arpeggios because we outline the chord as opposed to just stabbing the chord all at one time like a piano player or a guitar player. So our key is G, so the G major arpeggio. That's our one, our major tonality. But we can substitute that with the third. We go up three notes, and we play the same arpeggio, not the same arpeggio, but the arpeggio associated with that, which would be a minor. And play the one again. They sound almost identical because they share three chord tones: G, B, D, and the next one, and then F sharp for the G, and then B, D, F sharp, A for the B. So that B, D, F sharp is the middle tonality for both of those. So that's why they can replace it. Same thing with the sixth. Let's say I don't want to use the three, I want to use the six, go up a little higher and replace the one with the sixth chord tonality. The sixth is minor as well, so I go up to the sixth, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, play the arpeggio there, it's minor, right? And it has, again, those same notes. Right there. Exact same notes. G, B, D, G, B, D. So chord substitutions work because each chord in the group, they overlap with three chord tones. And especially if you focus on those chord tones that they share, you can play seamlessly over a minor tonality over a major tonality, vice versa. This works because of the blues. Remember, one of the things that creates this major tonality is that it has a major third, and this has a minor third. And so blues has that wonderful blue note where it shifts between the minor third and the major third tonality back and forth. And when you hear someone like Clapton or Stevie Ray Vaughan play the wonderful, wonderful improvisational blues, they're pushing that major minor tonality throughout their call and responses and their licks and their solos. I'll give you a quick example, just a real quick example. If we were to play a G, that G arpeggio, right, there's the G major, but if I added the minor third along with the major third, now I get like a G blues scale arpeggio. So that push between the major and minor third, it all comes back to the blues. Let's look at chord substitutions again from the blues. When chords have a general harmonic gravity, they like to move in fourths. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So if this is our root, it's going to want to move up a fourth, which is itself going to want to move up a fourth, which itself is going to want to move a fourth. And so that harmonic gravity, we call it, or I like to call it that, creates the blues because we have our two chords, right? The 1, the 5, but we also have this harmonic pull to want to go to a fourth chord. Ooh, that didn't sound good, sorry. But so if we go from the 1 to the 4, back to the 1, to the 5, to the 4. So we get a rough outline of the blues, that 1, 4, 5 kind of bare bones skeleton that makes up the blues. So, if you pay attention to music, you study music, you understand that jazz came out right on the heels of blues. They're almost simultaneous, and that's because somebody knew their theory. They knew enough theory to know, well, when that one chord goes up to the 4, I don't want to go to the 4. I'm going to do something different. I'm going to play a minor tonality, so I'm going to go to the 2 instead because I know I can substitute it. So instead of going up to from the 1, the 4, right? They go from the 1 to the 2, the 5, and back to the 1. And it creates this beautiful little cycle called a 2-5-1. And you'll hear a 2-5-1. You can hear the 2-5-1 in anything. Boom, boom. A lot of jazz. It's in a million pop songs, that movement from the 2, 5, to the 1. So I'm going to take you back to the Joe Pass thing. When Joe Pass said there is no 2. All they're doing is using that 2, that tonality, which just so happens to be called the jazz minor scale. Okay, Aeolian. Or Dorian, sorry, or the jazz minor scale. And that's where all these modes come in. Each mode has a certain sound. The third, if you decide to go for the third, it's Phrygian, and it's called the Latin, the Spanish minor. And the sixth is the natural minor. So everyone else in the band is going to imply major, and I'm going to imply minor. But they're going to happen at the same time simultaneously, and it's going to sound hip, because that's the nature of chord substitutions. Okay? If you ever get lost, if it ever gets too confusing and too weird, just remember there is no 2. Where's the 1? Where's the 5? Focus on that, especially where's the 5, because the 5 is going to go directly to the 1. So that's called the turnaround quite often in music. When you get to the chorus or the end of a phrase, and it gets to the 5 and it builds that tension, and then it turns around back to the 1 and starts the whole thing over again. One last thing I want to give you as far as chord substitutions, just real quick, where the whole jazz, whole 3-6-2-5-1 chord progression comes from. We're starting on the 1, going to the 2, and then to the 5. Well, let's say we want to put something before the 2. What is a 4th away from the 2? Well, that would be the 6th. And that 6th harmonically leads to the 5. Now, what if we want to put something before the 6th? We go with the 3, because it's a 4th from the 3. A 6th is just a 4th up. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this part of chord substitution, 1, 3, 6, is the part I really like to play with. It's the part I really most enjoy. It's the part I see a lot of soloists really getting the most out of, because every time it comes back to the 1 and the whole band comes in, especially the bass player and the rhythm players, and they're slamming on that 1 groove, and really putting that major tonality in the pocket, and then you can come along with your Spanish minor and create a whole new tonality, a whole new palette of colors, just by knowing a little bit about chord substitution. So thanks a lot for watching. I know it was a lot. Thanks for sticking with me. Enjoy.